Okay, fuck it, man. Here we go. So, welcome to the channel. It's gonna be the first. I gotta do the proper YouTube intro. You know what I mean? Welcome to the channel, boys. First of the new expansion for the How-2-Tank Mythic Plus Basics. Some of this will obviously be more related to like Bear, and just kind of like how I personally handle some things. But I'm gonna try to keep it as generalized as I can. We're starting with TD. We're gonna highlight some skips and things. Just some things that can help you out and your keys. Sometimes you need specific comps for some skips and things, but you know, kind of just depends on what you have available and what you are patient enough to try to get. So we're not gonna be like flying through this key. We're just gonna be trying to go through. I'm gonna be explaining everything I do as I go, just to try to keep things easy to understand and all that. Highlighting like what I'm thinking about, how I'm gonna use my cooldowns. I am using well, let's say first, so just real quick, I got a bunch of health pots as a tank, dude. Health pots are fantastic. It's one of the best things that you can do, especially if you're a verse tank like a warrior, or sorry, like a druid. Warrior, I think it's just like item level, so like if you're lucky enough to have like enough verse. But regardless, health pots and things like that. I also have the alchemy stone, which makes my health pot heal for about 50 to 60k on average, which is like big for some shit that you can use pretty much every pull if your pots are like if you allow your pot cooldown timer to like reset and get the minute thing going. You're gonna notice I'm gonna be using I will be using pots here just to kind of highlight like as I like use them, but you can see also on my bar over here, it's gonna show like what I use and when. So if you really want to like keep an eye on some of those things, that bar is here for you. I pre-pot a lot just because being like the more you pre-pot, the more pots you're able to use throughout a whole key, because you're not waiting for combat to end and then that timer to end and then the minute timer starts for that, because it's not ideal. You can always go to your garrison or your class hall, or to the class trainers in the new Dalaran to get hellstones, which I get a lot. Pretty much after every key I do, I just hearth to Dal, I talk to the druid trainer, I zone into the proving grounds, and I get a hellstone. So hellstones are fucking great for keys, health pots as well. It's just like all these little things that like add up to just making things like easy. Especially if you don't have a warlocking group. So fuck that, dude. Let's just go. Let's go. So starting with TD, I have a route in place. Everybody kind of knows the plan. So I'm gonna do a pull timer, so my demon hunter can pop metamorphosis before the key starts, which is really important for like a lot of keys. DHs and boomkins, you always want to do a timer before a key starts. It's more so into just not so much being in like a good habit, but just to not cuck your dudes, because you can get a lot of burst damage at the very beginning of a key, especially if there's like trash right there to just like smack some shit down. So my pre-pot, we're gonna grab these fucking crabs. I'm gonna chill here. I got my plumage rolling. Smack a health pot, just keep this smooth. Doing whatever I can to help CC the squeezes on these, because that shit can be really fucking annoying. And it's Grievous right now, which makes it like even worse, because the more your party gets squeezed, the more damage that they're gonna take like throughout the whole thing, the longer they're gonna have Grievous on them and all that shit. So Sanguine, so fucking beautiful ring, dude. Start kiting things slowly. We'll grab these parasites. Even though I don't need these for percent, I like to pull these just because it kind of like helps them possibly being pulled like during the boss, and especially on a week like this, having these pulled during a boss and having Sanguine drop under him is not ideal. Drop my markers real quick. This add-on is called Opie. It's real good, so they could just kind of know like where we're going. So 3, 2, 1. We're gonna lust here. My whole party. If I was in comms with them right now, I'd be saying, alright, so just stay near me, we're gonna move together. Sand traps coming up. The drones here. One little side note for bears about the drones here. If you're using Earth Warden, You get a lot of value out of that on this boss, because the parasites don't melee. I'm gonna pop Stampeding Roar. Help them get out. The parasites don't melee, so if you use Earth Warden on this fight, which you pretty much want to be having that on Tyrannical Weeks in here, you get like the full value out of that. Like the bosses melees virtually do like nothing, so. And we just kind of rotate around the markers, dude. Nice and easy. Add spawn, we move to the next marker. This is honestly like the simplest and least complicated way to do this boss in my opinion. Roll a little heal. Pop a soothe on this dude so he's not trucking my face, which isn't as important this week because it's not tyrannical, but see who's it on? It's on Artie. Get the fuck away from him. Now, real quick, you saw me just walk through the pools there. Those pools that spawn with the ads, you have a little bit of a grace period before those things will actually stun you and fucking hurt the shit out of you. To where you can, like, as soon as they spawn, you can walk through them to get to the other side of them. But you just have to be, you know, quick. Don't waste any time there, so. And we'll roll up in here. I got my rogue, Allie. She's opening up the gate. So I'm gonna mark my rogue so they kind of know who to roll with. Now I'm gonna pull this thug because it's fortified. On a higher key, he's gonna have a lot more health. Like on 18, 19, this dude's got about 3 mil health, which is like a lot for, like, I'm not just gonna sit there and fight one fucking dude. So my whole party walked through here. They're upstairs. They're gonna res me. I'm gonna type imprison left, sap right. We're gonna highlight some little juicy skips in here for those of y'all who might want to roll some things like this. DH imprison left, we got a sap on the right, so we chill right here. And that Allie's gonna do her thing. She's gonna sap and blind one of these, and she's gonna open the gate. And they're gonna walk through. Oh shit. Now Allie's gonna start to get the buffs. This part of it just requires a little bit of patience. Alright, so now what I'm gonna do here is we've got some extra trash. We have an extra buff over here that I really want to get. So I'm gonna grab this shit and I'm gonna pull it all the way downstairs. Khalifa, why are you in combat, dude? So she's just gonna be able to get all the buffs. Oh, me. What's going on here now? As long as we get all the buffs, we're good. Where are we right now? Okay, so he's just gonna rest him. So ideally, I would just grab that trash and run it down here. Because from right here, the idea is to grab all, like, worst case, if your rogue doesn't quite know how to get all the buffs around the trash pulls in here, your healer can just mass res. Like, I pull this here and my healer is like somewhere like around here, and then he's just gonna res us from up here. So now we sit here and we wait for our rogue to get up. Okay, cool. So now we're gonna shroud right here. She's gonna sap this dude. We're just gonna walk on by. Gonna come all the way through up here. Now, because it is the Sanguine week, I'm just gonna go ahead and grab this shit over here. And cause like we're not in like a huge rush for this, so we just need to. I just want this to be clean to show this. The Sanguine's real fucking annoying in this place, so. We're just gonna drag these over here. Throwing a little bit of mitigation. You're not gonna be taking a lot of melee damage on this pack, because you know they're casters, so it's not like a thing. I'm gonna drop my vortex here to keep this fucking dude from walking away too quick. And I'm also because it's Sanguine in here and it's real fucking annoying. I kind of want to like bait the guy away from the pools there. Okay, so now what I like to do in the Sanguine weeks in here is just to pull all this shit. We drag this over. And we're just gonna kind of kill it all over here in the corner, so we got plenty of room to pull everything else. And not worry about Sanguine as much as normal. Because normally I don't even pull this trash over here in the corner, so it's... I'm purely just doing this to make space in here for Sanguine. Okay, so now I'm gonna roll through here. I'm just gonna tag all this, and we're just gonna drag this back over here. And hopefully your DPS don't go too ham before you get in place, so they don't get their shit wrecked. We just try to control this as much as we can. It is fucking Sanguine. I don't know where this raid is from, but just rolling my mitigation, chain of my iron furs. Not always just like run on top of each other. Okay. Now we got reaping. And now one thing that another part of the plan here is to try to do reaping in an open space. Especially like this, because we have a lot of casters here. So I'm gonna vortex. I'm gonna grip them all together. I'm gonna stun. Because if you have a lot of great boats casting in your party, it's really just like not ideal. And you really would just want to use as much AoE CC as you can to keep them from casting on everybody all at the same time, so. The one little trick here is Warden here. So I'm gonna taunt this dude. And he's just gonna come back here. And the C speakers are gonna continue to damage him. And now my party knows only just to hit this guy. And now the trick with this is that by the time he dies, he's gonna chunk you, like he's really gonna fucking hurt. The idea is these packs will reset, but I think the spinning crane kick there's some extra damage on these dudes, but they will reset. If you manage to only touch the Warden, and not throw any damage on any of these, this pack will just reset, which is real handy for like any kind of a bolstering week or a bursting week. This kind of helps you control that a little bit more. Strikers are not gonna move, they're just gonna fucking chill there and throw rocks at you, you know, which is always fun. So with the Sanguine right here like that, it's, yeah. So what we're gonna do, let me get my food buff real quick. Because I did die pulling the thug downstairs. The theory behind this being just to buy myself a second for all this Sanguine to disappear. Because you're gonna waste less time waiting to pull this boss, so these pulls will vanish, than you will just trying to pull him now and let him, and letting the boss heal up as he walks through this, because it's just, you know, I mean, obviously it sucks, and that's like 30% of the boss's health pool that he's just gonna heal back up through that you managed to do. So these pools are starting to vanish. It's perfect. All right, 3, 2, 1. I'm not in comms. I'm still doing a countdown. I don't know why. But especially if you're in comms, dude, you definitely want to be doing countdowns for a boss, so your party. So this is fortified. I'm honestly just gonna sit here and eat this just because it's, and I dodged it. Look at that, calculated, dude. Okay, so I'm just gonna type in some things out. We're gonna lust when he hits right about here. Really good spot to make the most of the damage being put out. And now when Bobby comes out, I've got the kicks assigned for them on Skull. And now I've got X. Generally, I like to hold my kick for the stun on Bobby. And I got the D8s next on Skull. I'm gonna save my kick, and then if I get stunned, our other monk is gonna break me out. There we go. And then we're just gonna melt this fucking boss. I believe, so I'm just gonna sit here and pump this dude down. So now what I'm gonna tell these dudes here is to chill here on X. This isn't a necessary skip for like an 11. But it's real handy just to like have in the meantime. So what you want to do now is you're just gonna grab these 5 dudes, and you gotta do a little bit of work to keep the handcuffs from going on you. So what I did was I in-capped the first dude, and then I was gonna kick the second one, but didn't really have a need to. So then the trick here is that the thug and the officer and the sorry, the thug, the looter, and the jailer that are chilling up there on the stairs, they're just gonna chill right here. The other 2 might reset like they are now, which is fine, but your party's got plenty of time to just walk through. It's really only there to save you time on a fortified week. Like tyrannical weeks, those guys aren't gonna have a lot of health, so. There you go. So now we're up here. He's gonna imprison left. She's gonna sap the Marine. We don't have to pull this. I'm gonna pull these back out to the cannons, of course, but not a big deal. Okay, so now what I like to do here is I'm gonna thrust these. I'm gonna in-cap them. I'm gonna grab this dude. Our rogue is gonna tricks me and then get inside the cannon. And my people are gonna sit here and we're gonna kill these. So everybody's got something to do. Everybody's got some shit to keep themselves occupied. Everybody is making good use of their time right here, right now. So I'm gonna knock these dudes back a little bit because she's blasting them with the cannon. Really want to try to avoid having too much of that right here on us. Okay, so now we're gonna get reaping. I'm gonna back a little bit away off these. Sometimes you're gonna take a hit from the cannon, dudes. It's not a big deal. Most tanks will live through it. Just make sure you're not popping a spell reflect as a warrior, because you can reflect cannon damage on a warrior. Which is, like, it's a funny meme and shit, but you want to try not to kill the person who's in the cannon, because if you spell reflect that shit, like, you're gonna wreck them. It's funny, but, you know, not, you don't want to be like the saboteur of the key, dude. Fucking inting left and right, so. Okay, watching out for that shit. Okay. She's gonna blast that shit over there. She's gonna tricks me. And then start blasting that shit. The point of doing this like this is you really want to do, since they buffed the cannons like a little like while ago, you really want to do as much trash up here as you possibly can. It's a real good use of just getting a bunch of trash dead in a short amount of time. So now we're gonna come in here. I'm gonna grab this dude. I'm gonna pull these in cap, or if I was on my warrior, I would throw a shockwave down. I got a cocoon just to make sure I'm extra safe. She's gonna tricks me as I come out. She's gonna start blasting this shit. I'm gonna throw my vortex in the door just to kind of keep these dudes all stacked inside. And now with tricks on me, I have threat on all of this because she's just fucking wrecking these dudes, which means I just want to stay LOS. Rings of Peace, Typhoons, anything you can to help keep this shit stacked up, you want to be doing. Now Reaping is going to spawn here. It's going to be a little hairy for a second. I might take a shot from the cannon, but it's not a big deal. Roll my end caps down. Taunt whatever I can off the cannon. Rolling instincts here just to help make sure I'm going to survive. And just keep kind of like backstepping off of this. Okay, so now I need just a little bit more trash from the inside. If you go a little bit over in here, it's not like a big deal. But, so here, I'm gonna pop my roar. The speed boost. Purely just to delay me using my speed pop. I'm gonna moonfire this dude in here. Taunt would work just as well. So these dudes are coming out. Rogue is gonna tricks me again. These sanguine pools should be disappearing at any point now. Sometimes it's gonna take a second for them to make their way out here. Yep, there go the sanguine pools. They're gonna start to come out. I'm gonna drop my vortex just to keep them slowed and kind of all in the same spot. Hey Fab, I appreciate you, dude. And that's the last of the trash that we're gonna need from in here. So now, making good use of the time, because I'm pretty confident that they're gonna be able to do that. Now what I'm gonna do, it's another version of like a tricks here, is I'm just gonna come over here, I'm gonna hop in this cannon, I'm gonna start blasting this shit. I'm gonna hit the backpack first. So then by the time they get up here, I start blasting these. Okay, so now I have threat on all this shit. And now Rogue is gonna hop in. I'm gonna grab the wave that comes up after she does the rest of the trash. But she's got tricks on me, which means she's still just transferring more threat from that trash over there to me. Roll a couple heals. Got my vortex because I'm not gonna need it. That's one thing that I see a lot of people not really doing as much, is like thinking about if and when you might need some shit or not. If you're not gonna need it by the time it will come off cooldown again, just fucking use it. Like, I'll throw down my vortex, like, why not? It's just gonna help keep things grouped. Cleave an eye on barrels. So my strategy for this is just to keep myself and my healer on the barrels only. Okay, so 3, 2, 1, and just keep the DPS pumping on the boss while the healer and I move these. And then you can, the idea behind moving a couple of these out of the rings is to stagger the rate at which the barrels blow up. Because if all the barrels blow up at the same time, is when she's gonna throw down a bunch on you at the same time. So that's when you'll get like 5 or 6 drop down at the same time, and you're just like, holy shit, isn't that good? But I'm not concerned about my damage in this fight. I'm also not concerned about healer damage on this fight. So Cinder Flames going out. I really just want to move the barrels like out from in front of her, which she nicked that one, but that's fine. We got the other two in the corner. It's fucking beautiful. Really just want to do whatever you can just to get the barrels into the corners. So then you can do things like this, and you've always got space. And then once you really start to get more comfortable with this, Really just, your priority is just moving any of the barrels that are in front of her cinder flame, because if a barrel blows up in the middle of the room, you know, it's just obviously not ideal. So she's gonna hit those shits in the corner. That's perfect. My healer is moving those. All the DPS are just pumping on boss, which is perfect. So now we're gonna imprison this guy. I'm gonna show you one more skip before we end this key. Shroud. Don't move past me. Get the sap on this. So we're just gonna shroud and we're gonna stop right here. And our rogue is going to pull these two with riposte over to the right. We're just gonna walk right up here to the left as she pulls those over there with Gucci. Sometimes. So these guys have true sight, which is like a sketchy thing. I don't exactly know the rogue trick to be able to like riposte, pull them over, and then pop a vanish. I think you have to be farther away from them. I think. I'm not 100% sure, but alright, so 3, 2, 1. I like to tank this boss right here. It really just affirms that that the boss is never gonna move. The only thing you have to be careful with is when he does a cross ignition. Like when this goes out. This boss isn't melee too much, so I'm inside the cross. I'm gonna throw out some hots. It's not necessary on a fortified 11, but it's just like good habits. But me being in this corner just pretty much guarantees that the boss is never going to move, which makes it easier for the DPS and the healer to just control everything and manage it. Especially once you get into Tyrannical, that dot really fucking hurts. And this is where it gets tight. But you can pretty much tell, as long as the middle of your character is inside that little cone. Our Demon Hunter here is blade dancing the Deadeye shots. Because blade dance is fucking OP, and you can just dodge like a whole bunch of fucking mechanics of that. Helping to top everybody off, helping my healer out just a little bit. Gotta be careful though, like I had both of my cooldowns up, which is all well and good, so I can use my instincts outside of bear form to help throw some extra heals out. Place myself right inside that little cone right there. Swiftman Quan. Help my healer heal up from Grievous. Purely just because I can, it's not absolutely like necessary, so. Now these guys are gonna fucking hurt. Rogue is gonna roll down, tricks me and hop in the cannon. He's gonna blast the priest first because they're fucking annoying and they heal. There we go. Now I'm gonna drag this warden over here. Tricks is still rolling, so I'm still getting threat on these. I'm gonna stun these two dudes while she finishes blasting them. Go. Got the one more warden right here. I'm gonna throw a taunt on him to keep him coming at me instead of my rogue that's in the cannon. And easy total go around with some spicy skips. Nothing's ever going to be perfect. So one of the best things that you can do as a tank. What is this? Well, one of the best things that you can do as a tank, or really like any role in a key, is to just don't get bent out of shape about something going wrong, or somebody making a mistake, or just like whatever it may be. Ooh. Can I has that ring? I might actually use that. That's a fucking verse mastery leech ring, dude. I have a pretty good amount of haste right now. I'll look at that after, but main thing is to just don't get bent out of shape when mistakes or things happen in a key that's not planned for. The best thing that you can do for yourself is to just learn, like, getting used to, like, what percentages of trash you need by the time you get to a certain point in a key. Is one thing that'll really prove to, like, help yourself. But then just learning how to just, like, adapt and overcome. Like, mistakes are gonna happen. I've had more than a few keys that, like, a pull has been scuffed. I've even had, like, a full wipe in, like, a high key, like 18, 19, 20, and, like, we still timed it. So it's like, you just gotta keep your shit together, just be cool. I don't want to say always act as if you're gonna time the key, because sometimes, you know, it's just kind of like beyond hope that you're gonna time that, but just take everything as a learning experience. And I've been saying this on my Discord as well, actually, especially lately. It's like, revel in your success, learn from your failure, and just keep growing. Because, I mean, there's a lot of shit to learn in these keys. Like, I'm sure half of the skips I've seen here, a lot of people haven't even seen. And it's like, well, how the fuck am I gonna remember all this? Save the link for this video, yeah? Don't get bent out of shape, work together, be team players, and hopefully these videos are going to be helpful. And get back to me with any questions, comments, concerns, feedback down below, and I'll see y'all soon.